there, Flakers. It's Victor Give Me a Flake Man on the Give Me a Flake Man channel. Today I got a few things to talk about. I want to point you in the direction of a new blonde Jvlogger named Kerenzi. Very attractive young lady, and she seems like her head is screwed on correctly. So I've only seen a couple of her videos, but she seems like a nice girl. I don't know if she's from Canada, but hey, you know, I'm only joking when I tease Canadians, and if you have a problem and you're Canadian, you gotta relax, alright? Canada's great. Canada's great. Canada's great. Canada's great. Anyway, Kerenzi, new vlogger, Jvlogger, check her out. She's got some good, straightforward advice for you people who are coming to Japan. I just saw one of her videos called Known Unknowns. You can see it's working. Those two cells, more than two, probably 4 or 5, maybe, who knows? But they're all rubbing together correctly. She's giving out pretty common sense information. But actually, the other thing I want to point out today was I often mention things on this channel that are a bit critical sometimes of Japan. But you know, it's hilarious to me. Not hilarious, haha. More like fushigi, like what? How I can be called an apologist for Japan, and at the same time be called a Japan hater on the same video. And this happens quite often. You can go back. It's just to me, it's ridiculous. I think criticizing something that you like, you know, unless it's a woman, anyone you're romantically involved with, doesn't have to be a woman. Could be, I don't know, an Eiffel Tower, a bridge. Some people fall in love with inanimate objects. I've heard about that, but is good. No, seriously. Getting back to this, criticizing something is not necessarily showing that you have contempt for it. It means you care enough sometimes. Sometimes you just don't like it, but sometimes you just care enough and you want it to improve. So when we point out negative things in videos, it's good. And you should welcome that. Of course, in America, there are also those, you know, America, love it or leave it, you know, kind of guys. But I think if you do like America, then you should find the flaws and try to improve it, because, you know, it's not personal, it's a country, right? And the same thing with Japan. Japan is a great country, obviously, a wonderful country. You can see that this is evidenced by the fact that when you watch a Hollywood movie, most often the Asian characters are Japanese. This is called soft power. They are able to export their cultural power all over the world like this without touching you, you know, just like that. So the soft power is amazing. Which, you know, just tells you that Japan is doing something right. However, there are many problems here, like in any culture of millions of people. When you put millions of people together, you're gonna have problems, right? Even if they're not Canadian. So, one of the two problems I want to point out today. One of them was a problem. One of them was just an observation. But of course, I've talked to you here on this channel about the Nepalese man who years ago he was accused of murder, and he spent like 15 years in jail, and he finally got out. We reported on this, Tomoko and I, we talked about it. Now he's back in Kathmandu, and he gave a speech this morning. He looks good. I mean, he looks a lot older. You know, I think he's about my age, but he looks a hell of a lot older, which is what happens when you go to jail. You know, it ages you. But he's talking about the way he was treated in Japanese jail, and he talks about how he was beaten, nagurareta, he was beaten. Something we don't know much about. Regarding Japan is the way prisoners are treated. I did have a student who actually worked in a prison. She married my buddy and went back to America years and years ago. But she told me that often the prisoners are kept in their own rooms, and they're only allowed to read certain books, and they have to sit in certain positions, and it's a tatami mat, and it seems very strict, but it doesn't seem cruel. There is a video, however, of a woman from Australia who was arrested for drugs and spent some time in Japan. And there's a video here on YouTube, so I'll try to link it up so you can check it out. But it's funny because that video to me seems like the woman's complaining and bitching a lot. But I'm thinking to myself, you broke the law. You brought drugs to Japan. What do you expect? Of course you're going to go to jail. I imagine all jails suck, you know. Jails are not supposed to be country clubs. But if there is actually abuse happening, then it's good to shed a light on it. And if it's true, we should try to fix these things. And if it's not true, then that lie should be exposed too. So I am pointing you to the article by the Nepalese man who was the newspaper article is now saying for a crime he didn't commit. A few weeks ago it was like, well, they don't have enough evidence. But anyway, Govinda Prasad Mainali is now back in Nepal, and I hope he writes a book or gives more interviews about this, and that information comes out in Japanese and English so we can learn from his experience and learn a little bit, you know, shed a little bit of light on how people are treated in Japanese jails. Okay. And the other quick thing I wanted to point out was we also reported on Naoko Kikuchi a couple of weeks ago. She was one of the last toboshas or fugitives who was captured. She was on the run or on the lam for 17 years. But anyway, here's the funny thing, or the amazing thing about her case. she's been captured, right? And she said, I'm sorry, and I didn't know I was making sarin, and I don't believe in all that crap anymore. And her parents have now come out and apologized. This is very unique, kind of redundant, but this is unique to the Japanese culture. Parents often apologize for things their children do. You don't really see this happening a lot in the States. I'm sure it does happen, but not to the extent that it happens in Japan. Parents give they make public apologies, which is, I think, one of the, I think it's good. You know, it shows the importance of family here. Not that should, you know, if she deserves a death penalty or whatever, I don't think that will really change anything. I don't know why, but I think it's a good thing. In a way, the parents are accepting that this child, although this child has possibly committed murder and done other horrible things, is still their child. And let me just read it to you. She says, my daughter Naoko caused big trouble for everyone. I would say, what is that? Gomeiwaku, probably. Gomeiwaku kakete sumimasen deshita. She turned her back on society and hid for a long time. As her parents, my husband and I apologize very deeply to the victims and their bereaved families. We tried to convince Naoko to leave Aum Shinrikyo, but we couldn't do it. When Naoko left our home in 1990, we could not contact her, and then that terrible thing happened on the subway. We felt helpless, and we could not do anything. And you know, when you read that, you just can't feel bad for the parents. You know, that they have this kid, and I'm sure you've known kids like this too. You meet parents who seem to be wonderful, and their kid, for some reason, one of the kids, you know, it could be even you, seems to be a real troublemaker. No matter how good the parents are, you can't really blame the parents, but. Anyway, and then the mother says, to Naoko, all I can say now is that I'm sorry that I did not understand your feelings at that time, and that I did not know what to do for you. Thank you for choosing to live. Please sleep well. Wow, that's kind of an ominous ending, huh? Please sleep well, like forever? What? I don't know. Anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Links to the things in the bottom. I also want to say quickly, congratulations to 33Sammy32. I think that's still her username. She is really pregnant. If she hasn't, that thing, I saw that thing. I mean, I'm talking about her belly. It was like the alien thing, like in a good way, you know, if that makes sense. But seriously, it was like juggling and jiggling, and it looked like 3 or 4 basketballs were tucked in there. It looked like it was about to pop. So if she hasn't popped already, if she hasn't, congratulations. But wow, what a video. I don't know if it's still up there, but look for it. It's an amazing video of her belly just jiggling. Anyway, congratulations to her, and I'll see you guys very soon.
Give me a break, man. Give me a break, man. Give me a break, man.